Hey guys, P here with Crunch Time Coaching, and today I'm going to give you 5 ways you can add massive topspin to your forehand. So if you're ready, let's get started. Alright guys, so let's dive right into this video. First of all, the great thing about this today, everything I'm going to show you and teach you, you can do 100% on your own. You don't need a partner. All you need is a racket and some tennis balls. Also, I do recommend though, you might want to check out Topspin Pro. I'll put the link in the description. You'll see why in a minute because it's pretty cool. But before we get started into showing you these ways that you can add more topspin, these drills that you can do by yourself, I want to explain what topspin is and why it's worth working on. What's it going to do for your game? I love topspin. It's a really great weapon because I find that it gives me security when I go out there and play. That's probably the #1 thing I like about topspin is I feel like I can really let the racket head rip through the shot and I have confidence that the ball is still going to go in. Why is this? Because when you're hitting topspin, you're putting a spin on the ball that makes the ball roll end over end. Can you see how that ball is spinning? And when you do that, when you get beneath the ball and you do that, what happens is the ball's got this energy where first it rises, which is great because we've got the net in our way, and then it dive bombs in the court. Probably the best example to watch of how this topspin works is Rafael Nadal, who just won his 13th French Open, okay? And the topspin's a big reason why he wins. You know, so topspin is the opposite of underspin. See, underspin, the ball is working back towards you. Topspin, the ball is going forward and away. So I'm going to show you ways you can add more topspin to your forehand and drills you can do by yourself. So here we go. All right, now the first thing you might want to experiment with is the grip. Now you don't have to change your grip to get more topspin. Even if you have a continental grip, you can still hit topspin. But I got to work with the great Rick Macy a couple times, who coached Andy Roddick and the Williams sisters and Sophia Kenin, who won the Australian Open. He said the grip does give you certain things for free. So certain grips give you certain things for free. And if we're working on our topspin forehand, the semi-western grip can give you some extra topspin for free. So if you're in the continental grip, which is basically the shake hands grip, or if you just move a little bit over, now you're in the eastern grip. The semi-western, which is basically like you're holding the racket like you're cooking an egg here. A great way to find it is you can just drop your racket and pick it up. You do that, you're in the semi-western grip, and it might feel awkward in the beginning, but once you get used to it, it's going to give you some extra topspin for free. You're not going to have to work about it. We're not going to have to work at it or think about it as much. You're going to start to naturally hit topspin. Now, why does this grip do this? Well, let's take a look at the opposite of that, which is the continental grip, a little more old school. When you bring the racket back, the racket is even or even slightly up, okay? This is good for chipping a ball, okay? This is a nice way to hit a nice chip and charge or a nice defensive lob. But what I'm gonna have to do to hit the topspin is kind of like a magic trick. The racket comes here, and now I'm gonna have to manipulate my wrist to kind of get that ball to spin, okay? I'm gonna have to be very aware of the racket face not opening up. This, I think, was what set McEnroe back. The power game was in full effect towards the end of McEnroe's career. A lot of players like Lendl and Becker and Agassi, they had those more modern grips that we see today, and so they were able to hit more topspin. Now, so what happens when you put the semi-western grip in your hand here? Well, naturally what's going to happen is when you bring the racket back, it's going to start to face the ground. And you might be thinking, well, this is going to give me a lot of problems. If it's facing the ground, I'm not going to hit a lot of balls in the net. And actually you're not. In the beginning, you might actually hit more balls in the net, but as you go through it, you get used to it, the ball is going to go over the net. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay, so what do you have to do to get that ball to go over the net? Let me just set up our Topspin Pro here. So many people, when they're switching to that semi-western grip, since they had an eastern grip, or let's just go back to that continental grip just to work with extremes, is they could come at the ball pretty level and drive it, and the ball would still go over the net and lots of times in, and maybe they had a little hint of topspin on that ball. See, I'm just putting like a little hint of topspin, but again, since the frame's a little more open, you can come at the ball a little more directly. You still do want to come low to high even with a continental grip, and that's also going to give you more topspin, but you could get away with coming away more level and find that your ball is going over the net pretty easy. Now, if you do that same move with the semi-western grip and your string's facing the ground, especially if you're at the baseline, as you move closer to the net, lots of times you can still come pretty even with it. But if you're just coming directly at the ball and you come like that, you can see right now I'm hitting on top of the tennis ball. We get a close-up of that. So that ball is obviously going to go in the net. But if I come and I just get a little bit below the tennis ball and I'm coming on my way up, now we can see that that actually has a really good shot of going over the net. And then when I swing, I'm going to add spin to the ball. So one of the things that you can get, one of the ways you can get more topspin is you can go out and get yourself a Topspin Pro, okay? All the other drills that I do in this video, you don't need a Topspin Pro, but I do want to show you this because a lot of people, since we have it out here, they'll get one of these and they still have a tough time generating topspin because they've heard that acceleration is a big way that you can generate topspin on the ball. Now, topspin to me allows you to generate more racket head speed, allows you to be more free, but it doesn't mean that because you're swinging fast, you're going to generate topspin, okay? You can swing slow and generate topspin. In fact, that's what I recommend you do. Especially a lot of male students I've had, I've set this up on the court. I'm like, at the Topspin Pro, like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, if you swing, you can generate some topspin, the ball will rotate, and they see it rotating, and they want to do it, so they grab the racket from me, or they take their own racket, and they haul off and they hit it, and the Topspin Pro falls right on the ground. There's no spin. You see that? So it's not about hitting the ball hard. So the way I would work with your Topspin Pro when you get one is not to be swinging as fast as you can. Actually, the opposite. I want you to get your hand right on the ball, beneath it, okay? Pretend that you're in that semi-western grip. Maybe even put your racket in your hand, get in that semi-western grip. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your hand right here, right beneath it. Notice how the hand is slightly angled towards the ground. That's what we want. I'm going to come right to the ball. I'm going to feel it, and then I'm just going to roll it. I'm just going to get that going over and over again. I'm going to come over my shoulder here, nice, light, and easy, feeling the ball, brush it. And then what I can do is I get just a little further away from the ball and still see if I can generate that topspin. So I really like people to work with their hand first. And now I can see, okay, and notice how my legs are getting low, my hand is getting low, and you can see even without a racket, I can generate some great topspin. So I recommend when you get this, you first start working with your hand a lot. And you can see it's a lot of fun. It's kind of addicting. I almost had to stop myself. I could have done that for the next 10 minutes. So now what you want to do is you want to get your racket, and rather than haul off again, get your hand close to the ball and start to do that same exercise. And just see the ball rolling. As long as the ball is rolling forward, you don't have to ask, oh, is that topspin? Am I getting it right? The proof is in the pudding. It's right there for you. So then I'm going to get a little further away. Notice how my racket always starts a little bit beneath the ball, up and through. Make sure your hand's nice and relaxed. Okay, now I'm going to bring my racket back a little further. See, now I'm almost in that pro swing. The pros actually have shortened swing cycles today. So now I'm right here. Someone clocked a serve very fast at me and I swung like this. I've been hitting the ball back with nice pace and spin. You can see that ball roll over and over again. So again, if you're interested in one of these, you can go in the description box below and you can get yourself a Topspin Pro. All right, but I wanted to show you guys that so you really clearly understand what topspin is and a great way that you can practice it. The rest of the drills from here on out are all going to be on the court with just some tennis balls. Okay, so the next drill you can do is you can actually hang out here in the alley and you can work on your top spin angle. This is a really great way to feel spin. And it's also an awesome specialty shot to have. So when people come to the net on you, especially if you're playing doubles, this is a great passing shot you can use on the doubles court. Or if you're in a singles point and you want to open up the court and you get brought in a little bit with a little bit of angle off the court, you can hit this shot. But to be able to execute this shot, you got to have topspin. So what you can do is you can just drop your racket low, and first you can start off slow. And I want you to be super relaxed. And what you're trying to do is get under it, over it, and get the ball to spin over there. See that? And you just keep working on this and seeing that ball go. Now you can see I didn't get low enough, so now I got to get under the ball and roll. We did it again. So here we go. I'm getting low, I'm coming up, and I'm finishing. One thing I want you to notice with my finish is I'm going to finish lots of times lower. okay? So this is another thing that can help you get more spin, is rather than work on that traditional follow through over your shoulder, you can spin up and then let the racket kind of fall. And think of yourself making a rainbow. You just don't want to come down here. You want to reach up as high as you can and come under. Now once you start to feel that you're getting this, you can test yourself a little bit and you can start to ramp up the racket head speed with each stroke. See that? So I'm coming here and I'm ramping up that racket head speed, really getting that ball off the court. And then what I want you to do is, once you feel like you're getting faster, like go kind of crazy with it. Be super relaxed, don't tighten up to do this. But what I want you to do is go as fast as you can with your racket head. You'll probably miss some more shots, maybe hit some miss hits, but see if you can still get that ball to roll in. If you can do that, now you know you're getting that feeling, getting the ball to go up and down really fast. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw a little bit of caution to the wind. Also, when I'm doing this is teaching us to stay, which we don't want to do on every shot. Notice this ball is going short. If you want to hit a shorter ball, you're staying right through the hitting zone. You're staying there a shorter amount of time. You're picking up on your shot. This is where it's dangerous, so you can hit some balls in the net. You can hit some miss hits, so be careful about that, right? But it does teach you to really whip and brush the ball for extremes here. So now I'm just going to let it go super fast, and boom. See that? Fast racket head speed and spin. Fast racket head speed. That was a great shot. Fast racket head speed. Oh my gosh. And I am ready. I am ready for my doubles match now. They come in and they hit little angle shot. That's what shot I'm going to hit to pass them on. All right, so let's go to our next exercise. Okay, so our next exercise is harder than it looks. And I actually see Serena Williams last time. She'll warm up with this exact thing. Her coach will be right here, be feeding balls, and she's got to get the ball to go up and down quickly and keep it in the court. All right, this is a tough one. It looks easy, but it's hard. Now what you don't want to do is have the ball bounce pretty high so it's like above the net. You want to drop the ball low, so you got to hit it over the net strap and in. Right? So you've got to have topspin to make this work. You can see that you're going to hit a lot of net straps doing this. See, there you go. Again, when you do this, most likely you're going to have a shortened swing cycle. Not going to be with the ball that long. See, now if you go with it too much, it's going to go long on you. So it's staying with the ball, really quickly doing that, and it's going to force you to get below the ball. Quick racket head speed up and down. The negative part of this drill is, again, where if you go through the ball too much, you're going to hit them in the net and you're going to hit them long. So we're not staying with the ball very long. So the danger is, our last few drills we did, we're learning how to create all this massive spin, which is great, but we're hitting the ball very short in the court. Our next drill, we're going to start to feel that blend of spin, but also staying through the court to hit the ball higher and deeper, which is a very devastating shot. I actually call it the ultimate rally ball. Rafa's mastered it, Novak's mastered it, and now it's our turn to master it. Okay, so our next exercise is the ultimate rally ball. What I want you to do is I want you to come here and I want you to measure out 2 racket lengths and just really look at that. Okay, so there's one, then you put your hand here, then do there. Now go, okay, I've got to hit the ball that high over the net. That's a pretty good amount over the net. Take a good look at that, and that's our target. We want to hit that high over the net and have the ball still drop in. Now, if we're getting it that amount of height and it's still going in, we're definitely going to get nice spin on the ball, and we're going to have to stay with the ball longer in order for the ball to go that far, that high over the net, and then drop in, okay? So here we go. Watch this. So now I'm looking to do is I'm looking to get the ball high and feel that I'm getting that a little more depth. So I got to stay with it and through the ball more. Whoa, that's a total miss hit. So let me try it again. That's the ball we're trying to hit. Okay, I call this the ultimate rally ball, to where the ball is going high over the net and still dropping in. There we go again. That's pretty good. And what you want to be doing as you're doing this, you want to kind of say to yourself, now this is higher than the normal rally shot, right? I call it the ultimate rally ball because once you get it mastered, it's going to be going higher on your opponent, and they're going to have a really tough time hitting it. And what you're trying to do is tell yourself, okay, that was perfect, that's too short, if it's long, it's too deep. So I'm going to see and start to judge these shots. That's perfect because that hit the line, it kicked way up. That is too short. See, now the danger of hitting the ball high over the net like that with that spin, and if it drops short, that's why you want to practice this a lot. If it bounces here, this is actually happens to Rafa sometimes, where his ball starts to bounce here. It doesn't lose very much, but when he does lose, he's usually playing a taller opponent, and his ball lands here, and they start to cream that ball right about here. If his ball bounces around here, doesn't have to be right on the line. If he starts to bounce it here, then he's probably going to win. Very few people can beat him when he does that. So I'm going to try and get that ball. This is a mini tennis court. If you have one on your court, or if you have some pickleball lines, try and get the ball to those lines back there in the corner, and then you know you're developing a really deadly topspin shot. So here we go, I'm coming here and up. That's way too short. We got a windy day. So I notice I practiced those couple drills where I really worked on that spin. So now we do have a lot of spin, but we've got to have a little more drive. So I've got to stay with the ball a little longer before I come up and around. If I come up and around too soon, I'm hitting a short ball like that, which we don't want to do. So let's see if I can coach myself here and hit a deeper ball. That's the exact ball I want to hit. So you see, you got to really coach yourself, be your own doctor, really analyze each shot that you're hitting. Now that one went slightly long, so that time I did what? I stayed with the ball too long. I need to come up a little sooner. So we'll just do one more shot here. And that is, I don't know, it felt pretty good. It was either on the line or a little out, I couldn't tell. But I think you get the idea. This is a great drill you can do to add more topspin. All right, I got a couple more treats for you. Okay, so if you're watching this video, you're going, okay, Pete, I went out and practiced this, you're right, I'm getting a ton of spin, but now it's like too much spin, and I can't hit the ball hard with power. How do I find that perfect blend of power and spin where I'm hitting the ball lower over the net, but still got the spin to keep the ball in? I actually learned this from Time Value of Tennis. This is a great tip I'm about to give you, and I love how they talked about it. It's like, now you're not necessarily always going to have to hit the towards the bottom of the strings, but I want you to aim more. We've been taught so much to aim right for the middle of the strings, and that's a good tip. That is the sweet spot. That's the ultimate sweet spot. But if you're slightly off of that and the racket face, you hit it on top, the racket face is going to open and the ball is going to launch lots of times, okay? So if you come here and you hit on top and you're loose, especially if you're relaxed, the ball is going to kick back that way. If you hit it lower, just below the equator, if you aim there and you hit it, look, the racket is kicking down, which is going to keep that ball down. So if you get under the ball, but then aim for the lower part of your racket, you're going to hit a ball that still has spin on it, but it's going lower over the net. And now especially we're thinking about driving through, really keeping that blade through all the way here. Look how we're extending out. Like you want to feel like the racket's leaving your shoulder socket and then coming around. This is how you're going to add more power and spin to the ball. It's going to go through the court a lot faster. So here we go. I'm going to set here, aiming for the bottom. You see how that ball is now going through the court. It's staying lower. Again, we're going to get set, aiming lower. See, now the ball actually hit the tip, but it still went in. One more. Okay, so you can clearly see that now we're getting a nice blend of power and spin. Those balls are going lower, but we still got the spin to keep it in, so we're allowed to play aggressive but free. I've got one more tip for you that you can do on your way out of the court, and you're going to love it. Okay, so this next exercise, I knew it before, but I fell in love with it when I saw an 8-year-old student of mine that I called the young gun. I knew he was going to be amazing. He went on to play very, very high level Division I tennis, and he was one of the best students I ever had. He was awesome. And one time we were all going around picking up balls, I noticed that Victor spent some time on the fence, and he was really studying the swing path, and he wanted to get that nice topspin. So he's coming here, coming to the fence, see that, and then rolling up, and then rolling over, letting it relax. Okay, and if you do this exercise, you're gonna see your contact point. It's gonna be nice and out in front. Once you get there, now you're gonna roll over. So now you can get that nice feeling of relaxation and topspin. Relaxation and topspin. Then what you can do from there is just turn around. The ball, doesn't matter if it goes in or out, just try and feel that nice, same relaxed move of topspin up, down, and through. And there you go, guys. Those are your 5 ways that you can get massive topspin on your forehand. I'm telling you, you go out there and you do that, you're gonna feel a lot of topspin.